Hey everyone, it's Jim Turk at beatmydisease.com. Just reminding you to get out and vote. This is probably a bit late. I should have done a blog or written something or done a video a couple weeks ago, but I neglected to do so, so I apologize for that. But the reason I'm doing this is it's important. I think something like 6% of disabled people, I mean, are lower. The vote in that class of people is lower, 6% lower than everybody else because it's just harder to get to the polls and harder to do things. So I'm going to hopefully give you some resources, but I want to emphasize that it's just really important that you get out and vote because your interests are probably different than a lot of other people's interests. And I want you to remember to vote for your interests and not necessarily because of a commercial you saw or something you heard, because that's stuff people pay for, right? And so that's obviously not always going to be accurate or telling, or it's going to obviously magnify the worst in somebody. So go with your feeling, but also go with your brain and vote in your interest, in your best interest. Um, but make sure you get out there and vote. Now, it's too late to do this for the presidential election, but you might want to consider it for future elections. I know I'll have a tough time voting or getting to a voting place, so I called the city clerk's office where the voting happens and where they count that stuff up, and they actually sent me an absentee ballot. And they said, "Do you want us to just put you on the list for every election in the future?" And I said, "Sure, absolutely." So they just mail a ballot to me, and I fill it out and send it in right from my house. So that's obviously an option, a super easy option. It wasn't hard to get to do that. I mean, that was something they offered to do, and it's just it makes things so much easier for me and ensures that I'll remember to vote because I get that thing really early, obviously. So that's nice. But if not, if you don't do that, or if you're not doing that, if you're planning on getting out, or that's your only option, then you want to do that. And there's a lot of free services that'll help you get to the ballots. And I want you to think about local resources. So I don't know where you live necessarily, but a lot of cab companies offer free rides. Bus companies might offer free rides. Other services might offer free rides. You might want to call I guess here it's called Badger Bus, but bus companies or transportation companies for people with disabilities that have a tough time getting around. You might want to call them because probably they're getting a lot of calls for stuff like that, and they want to make that more accessible to you. So that may or may not be something you have to pay for. I honestly have no idea, but it's something certainly that you can call about. The cabs around here are fitted with ramps and things like that to get people um, all over the city, but certainly to polling places as well. So it's worth giving a call. But if not, I'm going to read from a pamphlet here that I was just talking to somebody yesterday. So, access to independence, I don't know if you guys know what that is. I'd heard of it, but I didn't really know a lot about it. And I went to a meeting yesterday and talked with a vendor there just to find out more about what they do. And basically, they do everything, anything that you need. I like that theory that anything you need, if they don't have a direct answer for you, they'll find one and get back to you. So call them with anything. Don't second guess it. Don't sit there and get frustrated because you aren't sure if they'll be able to handle it. Just call them and ask them. I mean, that's not going to hurt anything to call them and ask them, but chances are they will. They have a 1-800 number, but getting people to the polls is a big part of what they do. So give them a call and let them help you out. Let them do the groundwork for you, the legwork, um, and make that happen. Don't like I said, don't get frustrated about it. Just let them do the work for you. That's their job, and it's a free service. So their 1-800 number, at least here, is 1-800-362-9877. Again, that's 1-800-362-9877. and tell them where you are, and they'll help you out. They have Access to Independence has an office, at least one office in every state, if not multiples, because they handle groups of counties and things like that. So certainly give them a call and let them help you out. Let them help you get to the polls. But it's extremely important that you get out there and cast your vote. Don't cast it again based on emotions and based on what you saw in commercials or whatever, because that's always going to highlight the bad things about somebody else. Go with, think about your brain. Go with your best interests. Don't vote against your best interests. Things like insurance are important. Things like transportation are important. Other things like that. So whatever you think in terms of what's important to you, go ahead and vote for that and get there and do that. And again, Access to Independence is a good way to do that. Call your local MS society if you have MS. If you have something else, call your local society or group for them, and they'll help you out as well. But make an effort, but let other people do the groundwork for you. But Access to Independence is a big part of that, and that's their job, and they're certainly going to work that out for you. And they have video phone options and T2Y options, things like that. And they have an email address, so you can go to their website at www.access2ind. So it's accesstoind.org. accesstoind.org. So go to the website, but you can call the 1-800 number, again, 1-800-362-9877, and just tell them you want to get out to vote and that you're having trouble doing so, and let them figure out how to get that to happen. Again, they're located in every state, even Alaska and Hawaii. I asked about that. So they might not have a lot of places in that state, but again, they have at least one per state, and it's their job to help you out. So that's what they'll do. So thanks a lot. If you have any questions, certainly you can email me. But again, for future elections, call the clerk's office, the city clerk's office. I did, and they just send me an absentee ballot every time voting happens, and I can just do it from my house, which is pretty cool too. So something to think about. And again, thanks a lot. I'm Jim Turk, beatmydisease.com. Take care.